This blasted place. Oi! You had it! I'm bleeding!
Keep it tight, squad. You're done for. Your head in future. Aha! There! Are they still there? Hey! I see
Take
it!
him out, boys! Won't get away!
Oh, here we go! I'm gonna cut you to pieces. Ugly thing, aren't you?
Right there.
Bloody hell. You give me a fright.
I
What are
must
you
be
doing
in
there?
John Mills at Pictures. He's right dreamy.
Welcome back. Oh, that's brilliant. Brilliant. Knew you'd get it done. I'm glad you found Nora. She can be a bit of a knout, but she's a lifeline for us in the village. I don't know what we'd do without her. How's my contact in Skethermore? Been a while since I heard from him, truth be told. Dead? Oh no. The poor bugger. He were a good un. One of the few of them protocol lads you could still say that about. You know, he were one of them ordered to stop that civilian convoy. The one that's just wreckage up on the Skethermore Road. Oh, don't think he ever forgave himself for that. Been a helping hand for us ever since. I really appreciate all you've done. These messages are more important than you might realise. Let's just say you've given the village a chance to, well, speak up for itself. Here, take this, and thanks. Oh, I think we can manage that. Bet you weren't expecting to find a place like Wyndham still ticking over after all what's gone on here, were you now? Folk will get used to anything given time. Which isn't to say, it's not nice to see some new faces coming through here now and then. Reminds a fella just how strange this all really is. The captain likes strangers too. He treats them better than he does the rest of the village. Means he can do things us regular folk can't. Oh, aye. There were a lady scientist here not so long ago. Dr. Garrow. They say she used to work at the site over the mere. Top dog too, I was told. Managed to get out while the rest of them boffins were trapped in with us. Any road, she turns up here a few months back out of nowhere and starts throwing her weight around. She did something that got the soldiers' backs up, and they stuck her in their jail on Skethermore. Well, I heard, and I don't know how much credit to give it, that she whispered something to one of them big gun turrets of theirs over at their camp, and the thing shut off, just like that. She waltzed right into the camp, and soldiers were all turned about looking for her. Captain didn't like being made a fool of like that. Of course, that's just hearsay and gossip. And I don't gossip, me. See you around.
Make to amend this, make to amend that. I just want to buy something for once.
Signs of corruption? Report it immediately. Caught early, the contagion can be painlessly excised. Be vigilant. Be safe.
Watch yourself, civvy.
Citizens of Wyndham, pagan practices of any kind are strictly forbidden.
State of this place. Leave tomorrow if you could.
Do as you're told, right?
Keep your nose clean.
creatures protecting you here are, in essence, treasonous and will be treated as such. Please, don't make us hurt you.
Maybe Smith is right. Perhaps we should just build a huge still and drink ourselves to death. At least I'd die happy.
Citizens of Wyndham, volunteers are required for work details on Scattermore. Work out to help out.
Hands away from any weapons, you.
Citizens of Wyndham, the army is here to help and protect you. And help us to help you.
One more civvy gives me cheek and I'll pop the bastard. Not sure I like the look of you. I knew it. Someone's here.
The woods are still off limits.
Did they go?
If you need to approach the woods for foraging, request an escort at the village hall.
Addressing civilian. Stand back, citizen.
One more civvy gives me cheek and I'll top the bastard. Watch your step.
It's a wonder we haven't
Keep your
all
nose
gone
clean.
mad living like this.
hands away from any weapons, you. One more civvy gives me cheek and I'll top the bastard. Orders be blown.
Anything to get me out of this miserable dump for a couple of days.
Not sure I like the look of you.
Citizens of Wyndham, remember that your village is one of the few remaining bastions of normality within the zone. Keep it that way. Be normal.
Well, a new face. Good day. You'll forgive me if I'm less than cordial on first acquaintances, I'm sure. New faces often mean trouble. And yet, they may bring new opportunities, too. Tell me, where have you come from? Really? Well, you're not the first amnesiac I've seen since things went awry. Trauma does strange things to people. In case it wasn't made clear to you on the way in, Wyndham is under the protection of the protocol. You are permitted to move freely through the village, for now at least. Consider it a gesture of goodwill. I hope it'll be reciprocated. But don't go causing any trouble here, is that clear? And if trouble finds you, make sure you report it, post-haste. Now, there are certain things I like to discuss with new faces such as you. I would hope a stranger like you can provide me with some information. I want to know where you came from. I want to know what you can tell me about the outside. Trust me, you will be much better off aiding protocol than crossing us. Be under no illusions. We must eradicate the corruption that festers here before there is any hope of leaving this blasted place. If we were to work together, you and I, perhaps we might make some progress towards such an outcome. But step out of line, and I will revoke your liberties here just as quickly as they were given. So I ask again, did you come from the outside? What do you know? You misunderstand me. I desire a way out, not to dig deeper. And as for the interchange, that is a very dangerous word to be bandying about. I suggest you forget you've ever heard it. Whatever evil the scientists had hidden in there, it has wrought havoc on this place. So no one goes near the substation, understood? Anyone trespassing there will be shot. Well, this is disappointing. I was hoping you'd have something you were willing to share. We imprison strangers at the first whiff of trouble, but you can keep your liberties for now. I trust that will be more conducive to a timely recollection of your origins. In the meantime, be wary of this place. Do not be tempted to engage with any of the pagan sentiments some of the locals may try to foist on you. Such beliefs are dangerous and forbidden. Do I make myself clear? And if you still wish to have protocol's aid, you'll just have to make yourself useful to me in other ways. I'm glad to hear it. The civilians in this village are a shady lot. Resistant to discipline and up to no good. I'm sure of it. We can hardly get the time of day out of them. But you're an outsider. They may not trust you exactly, but nor are they immediately suspicious of you. Sniff around. Keep your ears open. If you find anything I should know, come to me with it. If you want somewhere to start, well, we've had our eyes on Iris, the baker. I could send a patrol in, of course, but a softer approach might prove more efficacious. Yes, what is it? There's been a what? Sergeant, take a squad to the church at once. And the culprit? Surely not the vicar. Yes, I suppose that's true. He's perhaps the only person in this ghastly village whose rectitude is beyond question. Now do you see why this place is under military discipline? I fought rebels in the Malayan jungle, and let me tell you, that was positively genteel in comparison to this wretched village. You can hardly call them English hereabouts anymore. Something in the land here is corrupting them all. You've done the right thing coming to me. It's vital this sort of thing's nipped in the bud before it spreads. Straight to the point. Very good. I'm willing to extend the hand of friendship to you, which would include giving you access to our camp at Skethermore. With us on the same side, if a chance for leaving this zone comes, I can promise you a good chance of seeing the outside. To be blunt, as a stranger, you're in a perfect position to help me with a delicate matter. I'm delighted to hear it. We recently arrested a certain Dr. Garrow, one of the scientists from the research site. She contrived to escape the zone before the walls went up, but rather unexpectedly returned as part of a military convoy. More fool her. Dr. Garrow's dangerous, very clever, and egotistical enough to believe herself a magnitude cleverer yet. She's refused to tell us anything, and I refuse to stoop to Gestapo methods to force her. But a new face like yours, well, perhaps she'll talk to a stranger who plainly isn't beholden to the protocol. Well, as I've said, you will have earned my trust. That will be very beneficial to you, as and when we open a way out of the zone. When Garrow arrived, she demonstrated an ability to meddle with the barred machinery we've commandeered. Specifically, she disabled our camp's automatic security system and began to poke around where she wasn't welcome. It was an hour before we found her, trying to get access to one of the old barred bunkers. Who knows what damage she might have caused had she found a way inside.
She left us no choice but to take her into custody, isolated in solitary confinement, where she can't play her tricks.
My men claim she muttered some incantation, and that caused the gun turrets to shut off.
I don't believe in such nonsense as magic, but when she was captured, all they found on her was a broken radio. And now I don't know what to think.
So you see, I need to know how she did it. What trick she uses to disable our machines.
Yes, though I would advise you against doing anything unsanctioned.
My men will kill you in an instant if you attempt any silly shenanigans.
Here, this pass will give you free passage throughout the Skethamore camp. The soldiers on guard will allow you into the prison section, too. All the way to Garrow's cell. Learn what you can and return here. Be sure to report to me in person.
But be warned, one hint of betrayal, and that pass will not save you.
I hope I make myself clear.
They'd better start showing me a bit of respect. There'll be trouble. Keep it civilized. No troublemakers.
Citizens of Wyndham, if you or any of your friends or family show signs...
Do not trust Captain Sims. The protocol was enacted for the good of the country at large, not the quarantined area. If necessary, the quarantined area will be sacrificed.
Avoid Flattendale until the area is once again declared safe.
Not sure about you.
I'm amazed that we don't...
You are leaving Wyndham, and the quarantine protocol is no longer responsible for your safety.
Huh? Something there. Nice and slow now. Let's have...
That's bloody right. What the...
Let's get this over with, aye?
Yeah, tell him.
Hey!
Like this? Watch yourself. Where? Take cover. Yeah, let's give him a good scene too. Oi, heads up! This is. What the hell? Yeah, you tell him. Oh, come off it, you're fine, pal.
Reminder for robotics personnel. Stand clear of the heavy lifters during operation. Don't be a popped Peter. Frank Stevens. The lower floor has been sealed and the lab powered down, as instructed. Only a signal redirector device can be used to regain access, and I'm taking that secret with me. The plans for the device, the prototypes, I'm gonna bury them. There's a manor house in Skedamore. The soldiers will have cleared it out by now, so it's as good a spot as any. If anyone finds this message, hell, no one's getting back in here. Not once the quarantine is fully enacted. And if by some miracle you are listening to this, well, I am so sorry. The automated security will be powering up right about now.
Robotics facility status report. Experimentation wing offline. Administration wing offline. Secure laboratory offline.
Hello? Who's there? Well, gosh. This is a surprise. When I saw movement, I thought it might be one of those awful, feral goblins some people seem to have turned into. You don't look like a goblin, though. Or an outlaw. So, just exactly who are you? Well, I can't argue with that. We find ourselves in very strange times. You haven't immediately tried to kill me, at least. That's a pleasant change. Sometimes, I think I'm the only sane one left in the zone. I'm Joyce, by the way. Joyce Tanner. How'd you do? Well, we can put questions of identity aside, I think, seeing I should be thanking you. I gather that you're the one who's responsible for restoring the power supply here. I've been trying to get in here for simply ages. I've just about given up hope. Isn't it a remarkable sight? The interchange in all its glory. I was beginning to think I'd never see the inside of it. Think of all the secrets that might be hidden here. Well, the interchange itself seems to be wired together like some sort of big computer. These data stores all connect to the central data processor. Though with the power cut, it looks like it's gone into a sort of a dormant state. No doubt that was part of the drill to get this place mothballed when the disaster happened. Whatever it was. As for the research they were doing here, well, I don't know. You could poke around and find out, I suppose. The important thing is that we're in here, and I cannot overstate my delight that you managed it. Now, finally, there's a chance I can get into the communication systems proper. And listen, we don't need to trust each other just yet, but maybe we can work together. It's a bit of a two-person job, this. If it works, yes, indeed. Look, if I can get a message through the interference field, I should be able to sort out an exit for us. I'd need a whole array of transmitters to punch through the interference, though. There are a few radio towers across the area that should do the trick. I've restored power to them, but I seem to be locked out of their controls. The operators must have isolated the towers from the network when the quarantine was declared. But look, if you could find each tower and release the security lock, I can fiddle around this end and try to use the array to blast out a signal. Here, I'll give you map coordinates for each tower. Good luck. Do your best. And try not to get eaten by any goblins.
Reminder for medical personnel. Stay at your stations between 1200 and 1230 hours today. This is due to the scheduled passage of a priority consignment to its containment section. For your safety, do not be on the corridors during this time.
been 12 hours. Just how long does it take to evacuate one facility? Word from Jack is that the military have locked down the site. Not a peep from Emma since... What are we calling it? Explosion? They aren't telling us anything. Perkins is muttering about the Lord of the Flies now, the bloody fool. I shall strike him if he comes near me with that nonsense.
there? Steady now. We'll have no strife. Who's out there? Coming out. No sight. Christ! Watch yourself, mate!
Hands up!
Let's see who you like this. Get it loaded! Quickly! Quickly!
Time to sort this out.
Attention! Wyndham Village is under the authority of the Quarantine Protocol. Acts of banditry and other... Citizens of Wyndham, a contaminated area has been reported in the Skethamore Fields. Please stay away from there until it has been sterilized.
This is the transaction. Oberon must die. If Oberon is dead, then the way out will open. You will awaken as if from a nightmare. This sequence is assured. If Oberon is dead, then the way out will open. Others have and will offer you escape. To follow their advice is at best optimistic, at worst foolish. Be careful. Trust only me.
Let's not have any trouble.
Slowly now. Come into the light where I can see you. Wait. You're not one of the scientific staff. Who the blazes are you? I know every face on the project, and you're not one of them. How did you know I was down here? You found it in... You mean to say you were inside the interchange? Just how did you get in there? They sealed the place tight. You found what? Just found a keycard? I believe you. It's so ludicrous that I searched to no avail, while you just find one. Too ludicrous to be untrue. The interchange. Open again after all this time. Astonishing. I thought it was sealed for good, and its contents forever out of reach. But look, do you realize what this means? If you have access to the interchange, then we might be able to stop this nightmare before it spreads beyond the wall. You must have seen it. In the interchange. That damned infestation. We first discovered the growth at the Oberon site. I was one of the team assigned to study it. You know, first we thought it was benign, beneficial even, according to the early results. To our eternal shame, we did. In hindsight, it was too soon. But science moves quickly here. In our experiments, small doses of the growth in a purified form showed the most astonishing effect on cognitive capability. But it was not purified nearly enough, as it transpired. Its active agent was much more active than we realized. What it was doing to both our bodies and our minds all the while, it beggars imagination. We thought we held the future in a test tube. But all we had isolated was evil in its purest form. You can see why I must keep myself hidden away down here. Yes, it's under control, but I'll never be entirely free of it. Thanks to this apparatus, I found a way to inoculate myself, halting the infection before it could fully establish itself. If my colleagues had shown more faith in my line of experimentations, well, we wouldn't be where and what we are now. But look, we have so little time. I desperately need your help. I need you to go back to the medical facility, and this time go deeper. All the way down to the quarantine level. Somewhere in there is a sealed cylinder. It's labeled Sample 1. Find it and bring it here to me. Do that, and I can promise answers. Answers and a way out of here. Here's my keycard. It will get you deeper into the medical section. It was the first sample of the growth that was extracted. We took it to the lab to test it. That was a few months before the disaster. It's a pure sample, and that's what makes it so important. Before you go, you should help yourself to a dose of my inoculant. There's one lying around here somewhere. If you ever encounter a thick area of growth, or are suffering from a potent strain of the infection, that stuff will ease the burden. It should give you a better chance of surviving infested areas. And with any luck, it will silence the voices in your head. Best of luck.
Citizens of Wyndham, pagan practices of any kind are strictly forbidden. Any breach of this regulation is punishable by death.
A new customer. How'd you do? Welcome to Wyndham Village. Pardon my curiosity, but how is it the soldiers let you in? Did you bribe them? And if you did, what with? There are saviours and protectors. Well, that's their story, any road. They came in when the government built them walls around the place. Don't think the plan was for them to get trapped in here, same as us, but here they are. Anyway, where are me manners, eh? I'm Morris Wick, owner of this establishment. Take a look at what I have to offer if you fancy. Big explosion, that's what. I remember it woke the whole village. We were out in the streets, wondering what were what. I mean, with all them atoms and such like they have over there. The soldiers rolled in and told us we were fine, that there weren't no radioactivity to be frit of. But then, in the next breath, they said we couldn't leave. Temporary quarantine protocol, they called it. Temporary, my hat. Look at them walls. Nowt temporary about them, is there? We had no choice but to take it on the chin. So we did. Well, most of us did, anyhow. In the months after the disaster, some people started to turn a bit odd. Nothing bad, just different, you know. Kept going on about the soil calling to them. People you'd known your whole life, proper sober folk, suddenly talking about a new purpose. Then one night, they all upped and marched off into woods. Soldiers have been properly down about any talk, since that might sound a bit, you know, pagan. I shouldn't be talking about it neither. Thank you for your business. Get new stock in now and then, so come back any time. I might have something new for you.
Citizens of Wyndham, there has been an increase in outlaw activity on Slattern Dale.
Not sure about you.
Not sure I like the look of you.
When will we go back to the reactor side, eh?
depends upon you continuing